right, guys, welcome back to the Enjoy the Walk podcast. We're here live at East Lake inside the Boston Scott Apparel trailer. Pumped to have the director of golf on here at East Lake. Where to start, man? Property's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely not a bad place to come to every day. The one thing we have here is history, and that's any great golfer that you can ever think of is walk these fairways and play golf here.
We talked a little bit about it when we did the intro to this place, and we drove in, sat up inside, saw the captain's room, saw the Arnold Palmer memorabilia, the Ryder Cup stuff. Obviously, long lineage of history in this place. What amazed me was, as I walked through and talked to people, it wasn't always what it is today. It was kind of went through some hardships, and I know you've been here for 15 years, and talk to me a little bit about what you've seen since you've been here of kind of the rise of East Lake again, because it wasn't always that kind of place.
Yeah, so originally we were the Atlanta Athletic Club, and we operated as athletic club until the late 60s when the whole area kind of took a turn for the worse. Crime was getting really bad. So the athletic club picked up and moved to where they are now in Johns Creek. And a group of members stayed behind, bought this property from the athletic club, and we operated as East Lake Country Club until the early 90s when Tom Cousins, who's a local real estate developer and philanthropist, grew up coming here and came to the area and said, you know, if I was born here now, I wouldn't have a chance. So he invested a lot of his own money, bought the club, hired Reese Jones to redesign the golf course to its original Donald Ross design. The main floor of the clubhouse that you were in earlier today was condemned. You couldn't even go on that part. That's how bad it was. So spent a lot of his own time and money and developed the East Lake Foundation, which goes back to the entire community. It's the engine that's kind of revitalized this whole area. So our slogan is golf with a purpose, and it's special to come to work every day and have a purpose. You know, when you're playing golf and you're spending money here, it's going to a good cause.
We talk about golf with a purpose. We're here today because of the Jimmy V Foundation, the Kelly Obarski 7th Annual Memorial. When you see folks out here enjoying the golf course 3-4 weeks after PGA stops here at the Tour Championship, how cool is it to see both ends of the spectrum, right? Because you're seeing the greatest of the greats play these fairways, and then you're seeing the amateurs get out here and enjoy the same course. I think it's one of the coolest spots that you could possibly be in for the game of golf.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely great. Always fun to host a tour championship. When people come and play this golf course this time of year, they get a very good appreciation for just how good the tour players are.
Sure.
When we have the rough up like we do now and the greens are fast, it plays probably 6-7 shots harder than it would even 3-4 months ago. So for most people, when they come out here, if they miss a fairway, they're hitting a wedge 40 yards back to the fairway because that's as far as they can advance it. So it's fun for us to get to share this property and this experience with a lot of people.
Sure. Now, you were just talking before we hit record how it used to be kind of a corporate course and it's no longer that. Touch on that a little bit of what really happens on the day-to-day here at East Lake, and what's the membership status, and you know what kind of goes on here at East Lake on a day-to-day.
Yeah, we have a unique membership makeup, unlike most places in the country, I'd say. When Tom Cousins bought the club, he gave everyone that was an individual member up to that point an opportunity to stay on as a member, and then started bringing in corporate memberships only. So for 20-something years, the only new members we had were corporations. So it was a lot of unaccompanied corporate guest play, what we call it, just people bringing clients out and things like that. And then 2 years ago, we started adding individual members again for the very first time since the mid-90s. So we've added a bunch of those guys, and it's really changed the dynamic of the club. Our old members are great, and the new members are great. The membership here really just supports everything that we do. And I think if you're a member at East Lake, you understand the importance of giving back to the community.
Sure, and touch on that too a little bit of how the East Lake Foundation and East Lake specifically does give back to the community, because I think that's one of the greatest parts of what is going on here at East Lake.
Yeah, I mean, when Mr. Cousins came in here in the mid-90s, there wasn't even a grocery store in the neighborhood. So if you lived in the neighborhood, you didn't have anywhere to buy healthy food at a reasonable price. So they partnered with Publix, you know, 1995, whenever that was, and brought them in. And that was kind of the first step, was like, all right, if we're going to have people living here, they got to have a grocery store. Like, you wouldn't even think about that. and they tore down the old housing project that the city had built and built a mixed income apartment community, which half of it is market rate and half of it's Section 8. And the idea behind that is if your neighbor's getting up and going to work every day, that's going to be a good influence on you. And they have so many programs they've developed over the years. The Drew Charter School was the first charter school in the city of Atlanta. A lot of that was funded by us and our operations. The Tour Championship has been huge in the amount of money they've donated to the community since they've started coming here first in 1998. So now the Drew Charter School goes all the way from pre-K up to college. The golf team, they just had the first all African American team to win a state championship in boys golf, which was
awesome.
really cool. And the kids it's basically one of the best schools in the state now, and the kids are going to school and they're going to Georgia Tech. I mean, I wouldn't be able to get into half the schools these guys are going to.
It's incredible to think of that a golf course and a community and a membership can have that kind of impact, right? Like when we talk about, especially when it's golfers talking to someone else, like a lot of folks don't understand the impact a golf course or a golf club can have on a greater community, and I think the perfect example of that is here at Eastlake. It's incredible to see just the outreach that you guys can pour into a community. Obviously, the Tour Championship having a pretty great kind of catalyst event here that really puts the gas on the fire per se. But to see golf impact in a greater aspect like that is really incredible.
Yeah, it is, and there are plenty of people from across the country that have come here and replicated this model at other places with the help of Tom Cousins, the Eastlake Foundation. They've actually spun off into purpose-built schools, was kind of a program they did to help other communities across the country. And not everybody necessarily has a golf course to be the economic engine, but they have 3 pillars that they think are the foundation for this program to be replicated, and they've done it, I think, up to 20-something cities across the country.
It's incredible. We'll pivot a little bit because we're Enjoy the Walk podcast. We love talking about walking the course. There's no carts here on the course. I think that's one of the most incredible things here. Let's talk the caddy program for a little bit. I was reading online, you guys have sometimes close to 100 or more caddies. What does that do for jobs in the area? This caddy program is very robust compared to a lot of other places in the country.
It is. We average probably 80 on staff throughout the year. We do have golf carts. We only have 5. And most of the time they just get used by the staff. So we require everyone to take the caddy. And what that does for us is mainly we can provide enough work for our caddies that they can do this full time. We do have some kids from the First Tee program that come in and caddy in the summer when they have free time to do so. But a lot of our guys, this is what they do year round. And they're actually employees of the club here in Eastlake, where most places they're independent contractors. Here they're employees of the club, and that leads to a myriad of things that we can do that we think provides a better experience to our members and guests, because the caddies work more often, they feel like they're a part of the club, and they develop relationships with all the members. So it's a very robust but great caddy program.
That's awesome. I mean, when you look out and see the course, there's places that you can tell carts run, and there's places that you can tell they don't. And when you just look out over the property, we had a drone up in the air earlier today, and just looking out over the property, it's pristine. And I think a lot of that is because of the caddy program and only walking. So we love that. That's pretty near and dear to our hearts. Touching back on the event here today, being able to give back to these kind of charitable organizations, it seems like it's in the bloodline of what Eastlake does, being able to give back. When you have organizations come here like this, and you get to welcome, people might not have even been here before. How does it feel to really kind of put on a show at Eastlake and really show what Eastlake is all about to strangers?
We take pride in it, for sure. We run events all the time. We almost want to run everything from start to finish. So when we have an event like this that we're hosting, we want to do everything. It's kind of rely on us.
Sure.
We want to control and provide the best experience possible from the moment your guest comes through that gate to the moment they leave. We want it to be the best golf experience they've ever had. And that is everything from the valets to the caddies to the golf shops to the food and beverage, how friendly the staff is. And we take great pride in putting on events and showcasing our golf course.
Well, it shows, man. I mean, even when we were welcomed into the gates here, The hospitality was incredible. We didn't even know where we were going to set up because of the rain and stuff this morning. As you know, folks will see later, we've got the awning out. We're kind of hanging out, and the rain has stopped. But the staff worked with us really well this morning to be hospitable to us, so it's much appreciated, man. Appreciate the time. As we look forward to wrapping up this event, getting some dinner. I know you guys will be the best in the business. So thanks again for the time. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule today, because I know you guys got a lot going on. So,
Absolutely. It's happy to be here and talk about Eastlake anytime. So
awesome.
Thanks for having me on.
As always, guys, you can get out there, carry your clubs, and enjoy the walk. Awesome, man.